talking this unit about different conic sections, and we'll discuss more what that means tomorrow. But for today, we're going to review circles. And I know you talked about circles in geometry last year, so this shouldn't be too bad. A couple of formulas just to remind you of from geometry is your midpoint formula. Remember, that's if you have some sort of line and you want to find the middle point of it. You add the x-coordinates divided by 2, you add the y-coordinates divided by 2. And then, of course, the distance formula, which tells you how long a line segment is. We'll be using both of those today. So, by definition, a circle is the set of all points that are equidistant from any point, and we call that point the center. So in my circle here, I have the point HK, that's the center of my circle. All of these points on the blue circle around it are the same distance. So any segment with endpoints at the center and a point on the circle is called a radius. Okay, so HK is my center and XY is just some point on the circle. So if I want to know how long my radius is, I can use the distance formula. So the radius is going to be the square root of, we're going to subtract our x-coordinates, x minus h squared, plus, and I'm going to subtract my y-coordinates, y minus k squared. Again, that's just the distance formula. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to square both sides, just to get rid of that square root sign. So I get the radius squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. This is the general form of a circle. Okay, so if you were asked to write an equation of a circle, this is what we're looking for. Remember that HK is going to be your center, and R is the radius. Okay, so now we can write equations of circles just like we can write equations of lines and parabolas and all that good stuff. So our first one that we're going to do here is we want to write an equation for this circle that's shown here. Good news is we know what our center point is, so we know what h and k are. It's 0, 0. What we don't know right now is our radius. We can't tell from the graph exactly what it is, but we can draw a radius here and use the distance formula to find out what the radius is. So, using the distance formula, we have our radius is going to be the square root. I'm going to subtract my x's, 1 minus 0 squared. I'm going to subtract my y's, 5 minus 0 squared. So the radius is going to be 1 squared, which of course is 1. 5 squared, which is 25. So the radius is the square root of 26. I'm just going to leave it that way. So to write the equation of the circle, remember using that formula above, the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus, that's supposed to be a y minus k squared equals r squared. So I'm going to plug in what I know. Here's my h, here's my k, here's my r. So I have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared, because h and k are both 0. My radius is the square root of 26, and I have to square that. Cleaning that all up gives me x squared plus y squared equals 26. And that's the equation of this circle. If you went to Desmos and plugged this exact thing in, you'd be able to graph this. We're going to do another one just like that. We want to write the equation, again, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. We need to know h, k, and r. Here's the center of our circle, so we already know h and k. All we need to do is figure out what r is, this radius. So we're going to use the distance formula to do that. The radius is going to be subtract my x's, so -4 minus -1. Subtract my y's. So we get, let's see, that's plus plus. That's -3 squared, so that's 9. And that's going to be 2 squared, which is 4. So my radius is the square root of 13. That's my r. Now I just need to come back to my circle formula and plug that in. So I have x minus h, remember h is -1, y minus k, which is 4. My radius is the square root of 13. We're going to square that. And I'm just going to clean this up. We get x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 13. And that's the equation for this circle shown.